Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at our Kuat Sherpa 2.0 2-bike platform rack right here on our 2018 Nissan Pathfinder. So the Kuat Sherpa is a very compact, it's pretty lightweight, and it's not as pricey as the Kuat NV, but it still has those premium features you would expect from a Kuat bike rack. So this is going to be a very stylish bike rack for those bikes of different shapes and sizes. So in this video, we'll take a look at what kind of bikes can you carry with this bike rack, what's its weight capacity, what does it do, and especially in relation to our Nissan Pathfinder. So the first feature we're going to take a look at is the tilt-away feature. You have a lever right over here. Pull that lever and then just let that bike rack glide down. That's what I noticed about the Sherpa. All its movements are very smooth, very easy to do. So here on our Pathfinder, you can see how we have plenty of clearance between our handlebars, our pedals, and our door. So this allows us to get into our trunk, grab whatever we need. So if we need to grab our jackets, our waters, our helmets, we can do so real quick without having to take our bikes off. And just like that, once the door finally closes, you can then just push this up, it snaps into place, and you're ready to hit the road. So that's very convenient because then you don't have to take your bikes off one by one. Now, this does have a weight capacity of 40 pounds per bike. If you have those extra heavy electric bikes, probably not going to be the best fit for you. You may want to take a look at the Kuat Transfer or the Kuat NV. But 40 pounds is still a little bit more than your traditional bike racks. And look at the type of bike I have on here. It's not an electric bike, but it is a carbon fiber frame bike. With other traditional bike racks that have hooks that come down, I would be conscious about possibly warping or damaging my frame. With a Kuat Sherpa, I don't have to worry about that because it has a front wheel mount. So it secures your bike by the front wheel and not by the frame. So also, if you have alternate frame bikes like your step-through bikes, your women's bikes, your children's bikes, that makes it so much easier because then you wouldn't have to get a frame adapter bar. And here in the back, we have this rear wheel strap. So that's holding it by the rear wheel. This is what you take off first when you want to take your bike off. So you just press that lever, pull up on that strap, and what I like to do is I kind of like to just bend it over to the side so it doesn't get caught up in our spokes. Then I go over here to the front. I hold on to the bike as I do so. I press this button, lift up on that hook, push that out, and just like that, it's a slight lift, and we are ready to go on a bike ride. That's why I like pretty much any bike rack that has a front wheel mount because it's so much more convenient that way. Okay, looking at our cradles. Here in the back, we have our rear wheel cradle. Notice how this moves back and forth to accommodate different wheelbases. The maximum wheelbase you can carry with this is up to 47 inches. And then you also have this extra wide strap that goes around, secures that rear wheel. Note though, because of the size of these cradles, the maximum tire width you can carry with this is up to 3 inches. If you have fat tire bikes, this is not going to fit with that. This also folds down though to be a bit more compact. So everything here is nice, minimalistic, and compact. You also have our front wheel mount. I talked about how much I liked it earlier. This secures your bike by the front wheel, and then it folds down again to be nice and compact. Now whenever you are carrying anything behind your vehicle, there's going to be some length added to the back of it. So we're going to take some measurements to see exactly how much. I'm going to measure from our bumper of our Pathfinder to the furthest point of the bike rack, which is over here, and it's actually almost exactly 32 inches of length added to the back of our Pathfinder. Definitely a measurement to keep in mind, because whenever you're backing into your garage or trying to park into a really tight spot, you don't have the smallest vehicle, so you do take up some room, and this takes up a little bit more. Still compact though, technically. Now, another measurement we'll take a look at is ground clearance. So measuring from the end of our bike rack by the trays, it's 18.5. Over by the arms, it's about 19. Compare those measurements though with a Shank, which is only 10.5. Because of where the hitch sits on the Pathfinder, you actually don't have that much ground clearance. That's why it's important to have accessories like these that give you a little bit more clearance, because whenever you go up those steep inclines, like those driveways or those hills, you'll want to make sure that your bikes don't hit the ground. You also don't want too much ground clearance, because then you don't want to lift your bikes all the way up there. So this is a pretty good middle of the road ground clearance, since you're not taking your Pathfinder off the road too much. Okay. Next feature is, what if this bike rack is too long? What if you want to make it a little bit more compact when you're not taking your bikes out? You pull the lever you pulled earlier to tilt it away, but this time you fold it up. So we'll take some measurements. First is going to be closest point. My closest point is from the bumper to where that front wheel clamp is, and that's 3.5 inches away. So plenty of clearance there, especially with this being a sturdy bike. Not getting any closer than that. Length now added to the back of our vehicle. Again, from that bumper, the trays sit only 8 inches away, but it does sit out a little bit further by your knob. So that's about 14.5 inches away. So still a big difference compared to when these arms were folded down. You'll definitely want it in this position when you're not planning on taking your bikes out just yet, but you also don't want to take your bike rack off as you drive around town. But what is it like living with a bike rack behind you? Well, notice how, with it folded up like this, your rear window is completely visible. Your taillights are visible as well. But what's really nice to see is where your license plate is, as well as where your backup camera is. That's visible too. So if you're someone who really needs that backup camera, you will see your bike rack behind you, but you'll also be able to see the view behind you. Something special about Kuat is they make this easily accessible. So if you want to lower your bike rack, you just step on that lever and then drop this down, making it easy to do even while you're carrying a bike. So let's talk about the shank and the hitches. So this has a 2-inch shank, which fits into our 2-inch hitch receiver. You can actually get the Sherpa with an 1.25 inch shank that fits into 1.25 inch hitch receiver. So make sure you get the right one for your hitch size. But this pops right in. You get a hitch pin and a lock. And that lock is actually key to the cable lock that pops right into your bike rack to secure your bikes. That way you secure both your bikes and your bike rack. Once you pop this in, you don't need to use any tools, no sockets, no wrenches. You just use this knob. So once that knob is tightened down all the way, which it is, it extends the ball cam inside the hitch receiver, creating an anti-rattle effect. So let's demonstrate. As I shake the bike rack, just to simulate that road movement, I'm really just shaking the car at this point, showing how secure that fit is between your bike rack and your vehicle. Yes, they'll bounce around as you bounce around, but it's going to be a safer ride for your bikes overall because you don't get extra movement. Now, this also comes in different colors. So what I have here is the gray with these nice orange accents, but you can also get this in pearl, or you can get this in metallic black with gray accents. It's really up to you. Kuat has a bunch of different styles, designs, because everything is very stylish, but it also works well. So if you're looking for something compact, if you don't have extra heavy electric bikes, you have your carbon fiber frame bikes that you want to protect, or you just have normal bikes that you just need a normal bike rack, this might be a good option for you. But if you want to expand, maybe get the opportunity to carry 4 bikes, you might want to take a look at the Kuat Transfer instead, because that one is expandable while this one is not. So hopefully this video helped you out. Took a quick look at some of the different features, especially in relation to our Pathfinder, to see if this is the right fit for you, your bicycles, and your adventure. But this right here, right now, was a look at the Kuat Sherpa 2.0 2-bike platform rack on our 2018 Nissan Pathfinder. Here on our test course, we'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Once we get to the alternating speed bumps, we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or a pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Now lastly, we're going over some full speed bumps, and we can see here the up and down action, and this will just be like driving in and out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway. So we can see here how the bike rack moves with our truck.